Hi, I'm Angie. Today I'm going to show you a recipe for lemon coffee cake. I made this cake for the first time on the weekend and it was so light and fluffy and delicious that I thought I would show it to you guys. I knew you'd like it. And my family has no arguments about getting a second cake so soon. So we're going to do a couple things in advance. I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees and I've greased a 9-inch square baking pan. And I've got 1 cup of milk here and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. That's just to make sour milk. I'm just going to set that aside for about 10 minutes. Let it sour and then we'll continue with the rest of the recipe. The first thing I'm going to do in my electric mixer is cream up a half a cup of butter, that's 1 stick, with a half cup of sugar. I'm going to let that beat until it's nice and creamy and the sugar crystals dissolve into the butter. Okay, that's nice and creamy. Now I'm going to beat in 2 eggs. These are large eggs. I'm going to do them one at a time. You can scrape down the sides of the bowl just to get it nice and well combined. Okay, I'm going to stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you've watched my videos before, I think about 99% of my videos use vanilla extract. Okay, now I'm just going to combine the dry ingredients. In this bowl I've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to stir in 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and a half teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon salt. Like any cake recipe, what we're going to do is add 1/3 of the dry ingredients to the batter and then half of our milk mixture that we made and then another 1/3 of the dry ingredients, then the rest of the milk and then the last of the flour. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I'm going to add 1/3 of our flour mixture and half of our sour milk and another 1/3 of flour and the rest of the milk and the last bit of flour. I just want to beat that till it's nice and combined. Scrape down the sides. Okay, the batter's almost done. Last thing I want to do is add some lemon peel, and it takes about a tablespoon of lemon peel, which is about 2 lemons. I only had 1 lemon, so I'm using half of it in this batter and then the other half will go into the topping. But if you have a second lemon, it's great to have more lemon zest in there. So I'm going to pour the batter into my greased 9-inch square pan. Just going to smooth that out. I'm just going to set this aside while we make the topping. For the lemon streusel topping, I've got a half cup of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to put in the rest of my lemon zest, but you can put in up to a tablespoon would be great. And I have a 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Combine that. And I've got a 1/4 cup or half a stick of butter here, cold butter, and it's just cut into chunks. And to be honest, I really just like to do this with my fingers because it works a lot better. Just want to pick up the flour and work the butter into it until you get a nice crumbly topping. You don't want to cream it, but you just want to get a nice coarse meal texture. And you can see that it's not dry anymore, but it's still crumbly. Okay, now we just sprinkle the topping over the cake. We're going to bake this for about 30 to 35 minutes at 350 degrees. Until the tester comes out clean. It's pretty thick and fluffy cake, so you want to make sure it's cooked in the middle. Okay, I'll pop that in the oven and I'll show it to you when it's done. Okay, it's been 35 minutes and the cake is done. You can see how full and high it is in the center, so you definitely want to stick a toothpick down the middle and make sure it comes out clean, which it did. So you can let it sit in the pan on a rack for about 15 minutes, and the recipe says to serve it warm, but I can tell you that it tastes pretty darn good at room temperature too. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy your lemon coffee cake.